Hey there, everyone from MSM3. We are talking today about scientific notation again, powers, and we're going to talk about the calculator. So, powers of scientific notation. That means you've got something in scientific notation and you're going to raise it to a power. So, in this case, it says to the third. That means the 5 times 10 to the fourth times 5 times 10 to the fourth times 5 times 10 to the fourth. There are 3 of that scientific notation being multiplied by itself. So, really, you'll notice that you have a 5 times another 5 times another 5, which is where this 125 comes from. You will also notice that you have a 10 to the fourth, 10 to the fourth, 10 to the fourth, which if you combine it gives you 10 to the 12th. So it's really easy to individually say, I'm going to do 5 to the third power, which is 125, and 10 to the fourth to the third power, which is 10 to the 12th, giving me 125 times 10 to the 12th. Well, we all know that is not between 1 and 10. So we'd need to make this 2 powers of 10 smaller, making the exponent 2 powers of 10 larger, giving us 1.25 times 10 to the 14th. So the shortcut is to do 5 cubed and for 10 to the fourth to the third, which is your 10 to the 12th, and then rewrite it. So let's do a couple of them live. 7 times 10 to the fifth, and all of that is raised to the third. So we've got to do 7 to the third, and we've got to do 10 to the fifth to the third. So we're going to have 343 times 10 to the 15th. Only problem, 343 is too big. It needs to be 2 powers of 10 smaller. So our exponent, 2 powers of 10 larger, 3.43 times 10 to the 17th. All right, same idea over here. We've got to do 2 to the fifth, and we've got to do 10 to the third, also raised to the fifth. So we're going to have 32 times 10 to the 15th. Now 32, just 1 power of 10 too large. So we'll make this smaller by a power of 10, and we'll make the exponent larger by a power of 10, 3.2 times 10 to the 16th. 2.3 needs to be raised to the second power, and 10 to the 6th also needs to be raised to the second power. So we'd have to do 2.3 times 2.3, and we're going to get 5.29, which is lovely because it is between 1 and 10, times 10 to the 12th, and we're already done. The last one in this section, you'll notice, has a negative exponent. 8 still gets raised to the third power. 10 to the negative fourth still gets raised to the third power. 8 to the third is worth 512. 10 to the negative fourth to the third. Now, if I multiply my exponents, I get 10 to the negative 12. Have to be careful, right, where I'm going to add and subtract these negatives. So I'm going to make this 2 powers of 10 smaller. I'm going to make my exponent 2 powers of 10 larger. So I'm doing negative 12 plus 2. 5.12 times 10 to the negative 10th. Notice it kind of doesn't look like it got 2 larger, but that's because we're in the negative numbers. We're going from negative 12 up to negative 10. Calculators and scientific notation. So use a calculator to multiply 842,734 and 123,432. What does the calculator display? So we'll do that on here. We'll do 842,734 times 123,432. Ooh, that's an interesting looking answer. My answer even has a letter in it. So what did I get? I got 1.040203431, and then I got E11. What do we think that means? Well, E11 means that the exponent is an 11. So it's approximately 1.04 times 10 to the 11th. Now, you'll notice it's much longer than that. I rounded it off. Now, it also says if a calculator displays 3.33189, blah, 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 blah. E12, what number is represented? Write it in both decimal and scientific notation. So if we have an exponent of 12, we've got to move that decimal point 12 places. 3, pretend the point is here. We're going to move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places, all the way here. How do I know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That number is very large, which is why we use scientific notation, we could also write approximately 3.33 times 10 to the 12th. So the calculator is going to shorten things up for us because the calculator screen might not have enough digits to actually show all of the numbers. Another thing that I can do here is use the calculator on my cell phone. And some of you have cell phones. I'm sure many of you do. If I can find the calculator function, that would help. But what I can do is actually do the same problem, for example, like 842,734 times 123,432. And you'll notice that all the digits show up this time because the calculator on my cell phone, when I turn it sideways, has more spots. Ooh, headline, Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It has more spots. There's more positions for the digits than there were on the graphing calculator. So some calculators will give you a different answer with more digits or fewer digits. Some will put it in scientific notation and some won't need to. And next thing we have on the back, pretty short, a calculator displays 2.8496 e negative 6. That means 2.8496 times 10 to the negative 6th. The number was so small that they didn't have enough spots to display it all. So in order to do this one,
Elliot, please call the phone off. Elliot.
So that's always fun. In order to display this one, I'm going to write 2.8496, and I'm going to take my decimal point and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to the left. I'm going to fill in zeros in all of those spots. And you'll notice how long this is now, and that's why the calculator couldn't display everything. Simplify. You may use a calculator. Your answer should be in scientific notation. The decimal number of your answer may be rounded to 2 places. So I've got to do 5.2 to the 7th, and I've got to do 10 to the 6th to the 7th. Now this is easy, right? Multiply my exponents, 10 to the 42nd. But if I want to do 5.2, there's a little caret key here. Some calculators have it. It might look different. To the 7th. Ooh, that's a lot. 102807.1703. So I might round my answer to approximately 1. I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. 1.03 times 10. I've got to add 5 to my exponent. So 10 to the 47th. So for those of you that were wondering what I did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I added 5 to the 42. The other one that's there, same idea. I've got to raise the 8.3 to the 5th. I also need the 10 to the negative 8 to the 5th. So if I use my calculator, 8.3 to the 5th power, that's going to be 39390.40643 times 10, multiply my exponents to the negative 40th. An exponent raised to an exponent gets multiplied. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 places off. So it's approximately 3.94. I rounded up because the next digit was a 9. Times 10. I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So I've got to go up by 4 here. That's a negative 40 up by 4. So 10 to the negative 36. Go ahead and play around with different calculators. See if you have one at home that does scientific notation, or if you can get an answer big enough maybe to make the one on your phone use scientific notation.